This is one of those hidden gem type of properties that you just have to slug your way into position to be an owner of. And it is in the Fairfax district, which is a great mid-city opportunity. So of course the prices here for a duplex or triplex are easily $2 million in and around that area, unless you get something that needs a little work, like this one, which is just literally a diamond in the rough. So we went into this transaction as a backup buyer. A lot of people don't know about being in a backup position, what it means. So I want to talk to you a little bit about it because it can be a real good opportunity. Right now in the marketplace, sellers are more optimistic than the market in many cases. They are pricing ahead of the market in many instances, and that's okay because the market's still trending up, and so it will eventually catch up with the expectations of our sellers. However, for our buyers, they're often looking at putting in an offer at or above the list price and having to deal with the risk that the appraisal won't come out and that they won't be able to negotiate a compromise with the seller. In this case, the property was priced a little ahead of the market. My clients were willing to make an offer just slightly below the list price. Their offer was not accepted. And we did respond to a multiple counter offer. We went up about $50,000, which in $1 million price point is noticeable. But the seller had a higher offer, so they decided to pursue that. And my response was not, okay, fine, to stomp off me and my buyer. Instead, I said to my buyers, look, let's put ourselves in a backup position and let's stay in touch and let's show our interest. And that happened to pay off this time. About half the time it does pay off if you are in a situation like this. So we stayed in a backup position. We monitored the progress of the transaction, and sure enough, the first choice buyer failed to perform, and there we were to pick up the spoils, which is going to turn out to be a treasure. So in that backup position, we are now under contract. This property had been in escrow twice before we put our offer on. And so there was a buyer. First-time home buyers love when they're in front of us because they tend to do a lot of inspections. And in this case, of course, my client got the benefit of reading all those inspection reports. The very smart listing agent was willing to share that with us, and we were able to make a firm offer, an as-is offer, because we had all the inspection reports to reveal the issues, and we could quantify those before we put our offer in. It's a really smart way to go in. So we just had to get a couple of estimates on repairs that we knew were going to have to be done, and that's what we did today. And I got to tell you, the best thing is when you see a property the second time and you love it even more than the first time. So my tip for today is, if you are a buyer and you see a property you really, really love, but maybe the market has taken that property outside of your price range, or perhaps you just can't write the highest offer or aren't willing to write the highest offer, don't give in. Be tenacious. Make sure you have an agent that's aggressive, like me, and make sure that you stay in the pocket in the backup offer position, and that you stay close to that transaction to make sure that if anything gets wobbly, you're there to pick up the spoil. Second thing is, if there has been a prior buyer in escrow, make sure you make your best effort to get those inspection reports from the listing agent so you can know more about what you're putting an offer on. Some listing agents don't release that information until you're in escrow, and that's perfectly all right. But many agents will release that information to a serious buyer so that you can write an offer that's not going to, be negotiated or haggled inside the escrow. So those are the two tips. And so as you can see, this is a historic building. I'm going to show you those gorgeous windows that this place has. And it's like a castle on the corner, right? It sits on the corner. The entrance is at a diagonal, and it's completely overgrown. Like, the landscaping almost hides this little beauty. That's one of the reasons my clients saw it. They walked this area. If you're interested in a particular geographic area, you should walk it, because there are just certain properties you can't fully see without being boots on the ground. Having a great agent helps, but they may not see that one priceless property. It's this one. What you can't see unless you come over here is when you walk outside the door, this is what's across from you. So you might be able to see in the background there, we've got big time development going on. That might be a turnoff to some people, but for my clients, not so much. They want the area even more than they care about the development that's going on across the street. And they are making a really smart move because they're going to get a very nicely sized duplex. Both units are going to be empty, so they're going to be able to rehab immediately, and they're in a great walkable area off the Fairfax corridor. So you guys, I hope you could see enough over my shoulder. I think I am going to come off this live and go to, let's see, I'm going to see if I can switch my camera around now. Yeah, I did it, yay. All right, so let me show you this little hidden gem. First of all, you look at this and you can't see a darn thing, right? You're just like, what's behind all that brush? Well, my clients were smart enough to peer through the gate and